Okay, good morning. Today is September 23rd, hump day. Uh, we're still working on comparing viruses to cells, and we're talking about viruses first, then we'll talk about bacteria. We've already talked about eukaryotes, and then we're going to talk about bacteria. Sorry about that. Let me just flip it off. Okay, so today's focus is that viruses are non-cellular. They are not made of cells. They don't have cell parts. The only thing they really have in common with a cell is that they have some type of DNA or RNA. Okay? All right, now let's look at the parts of the cell, or the virus, excuse me. This shows 6 parts. I want to mainly focus on 2. That would be your DNA or RNA and the protein coat that surrounds the virus. All viruses have a protein coat that surrounds them, and that is also called the capsid. Alright, just quickly here, let me tell you that anytime you see the little squigglies on a picture of a virus, that is representing your DNA or RNA. And so there might be a question asked about that, and so anytime there's something pointing at the little squigglies, that represents your DNA or RNA. Alright, let's move on. Okay, here is the tobacco mosaic virus. I believe that was the first virus isolated. It affected tobacco plants. Notice it has the protein coat, the little squigglies representing the DNA or the RNA. And let's just kind of look at the bullet points here. Just remember, viruses are non-cellular. They are not made of cells and have no cell parts. They consist of 2 parts, the DNA or RNA, that are surrounded by the protein coat, also called the capsid. Alright, and this says it here. The capsid is the protein coat that surrounds the DNA or RNA. Next slide. Okay. Once again, the capsid is made of proteins that enable the virus to enter a host cell. Notice this virus has these little extensions that is part of the capsid, the protein coat. Those attachments are right here. They are used to attach to the host cell. Okay, so the virus comes in, identifies the cell it is to attach to, and it uses these little extensions to attach to the cell. Notice this one also, it's a different looking virus, but it also has these little extensions used to attach to the cell. Okay? Notice it has particular shape that must match the receptors on the surface of a host cell. So viruses are kind of like the keys to your car. Okay? They go to your car, they unlock the door to your car. They turn on your car. They don't unlock the door to other cars and stuff. And viruses are very similar to that, where they attach specific cells. Okay? Alright, moving on. Okay, so viruses, what they do is they trick the cell into letting them in. Notice this is a cell, and it looks like a bunch of little bacteriophage. The cell has come in and attached itself, or the virus has come in and attached itself to the cell, tricked it into making other viruses. And this cell is pretty much done. It has burst and released a bunch of viruses out to go and infect new cells or different cells. Okay, since viruses must bind precisely to proteins on the cell surface, they are very highly specific. Okay? Plant cells can only infect plants. And it even gets more specific than that, like different viruses affect different types of plants. The leaves here have been infected by the papaya ring spot virus. These tomatoes here have been infected by a certain type of virus that infects tomatoes. And the same thing here with your zucchini. Animal viruses can only infect animals. This is a poliovirus. Notice it has the protein coat. There's little extensions. This is the hepatitis A virus. It also has a little protein coat. And those little extensions, what did I do there? Anyway, they attach to specific cells. Okay. Then here's your little squiggly. That's your DNA or RNA. And so, one example of this, which y'all all heard about recently, is the coronavirus. Okay. It was a bat virus, right? And it existed in bats. And then somehow there was a mutation in this protein coat, and there's some other little things about that virus that interest me, but we'll just talk about the extensions, the protein coat. They changed to where they were able to attach themselves to human cells. So there was some kind of mutation, something that went on there, and that's kind of how we got in the boat that we're in today with this pandemic coronavirus stuff. But anyway, directions are in your assignment on creating your slides. And just keep in mind that the extensions are to attach themselves to the cell. And if you need to identify RNA or DNA on a picture or something, you're going to look for the squigglies in the virus. All right. If y'all need anything, text me, call me, email me, make an appointment to come up and see me. Anything I can do to help you. Y'all have a good day.